What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the MIgardener channel. In today's episode, we're going to be harvesting some peppers, as well as talking about a topic that's been coming into our inbox at an alarming rate. And that's the topic of using your garden for preparedness. And a lot of you want to know what my opinion is on preparedness and self-sustainability, and kind of want my opinion on it. So with that being said, if you've never wanted my opinion, well, I guess you're going to get it today. And if you've wanted my opinion, well, you're going to get it today. I do think that in today's day and age, we really live in a heightened state. The people that are in control, the people that are in power, I feel like a lot of them would like us to constantly be at a fever pitch, just constantly waiting for the next headline, the next news article to put us over the edge. And I really feel like that's very, very dangerous. I feel like culture as a whole has been kind of always at a 99. We're so close to 100 that we're way further away from a 0 or a 1 than we are to 100. And living at a 99, I think, is very, very unhealthy. It's unhealthy for a lot of reasons. It really prevents us from seeing our neighbor as our friend and someone that could help us in a time of need, and more of someone getting in our way, more of an enemy. And I think that that's very, very dangerous. It prevents us from seeing it causes us to see the differences and the things that divide us more than the things that unify us. And so when it comes to preparedness, and it comes to where I think culture is going, I think that you will always find, and you always have found, certain echo chambers. There has always been, in the homesteading community, in the gardening community, there has always been an underlying kind of prepper movement. And I've always said that with MIgardener, I can have my concerns, I can have my fears, but do I let them dominate my life? And if I do have these concerns, are they real, or are they something that I'm hearing from other people that I'm really not seeing with my own eyes? If you are right there at the scene of a car crash, you can tell someone, you can tell a first responder, this is what happened, this is how it happened, and your recollection of the event. Whereas you cannot tell a first responder after you heard the story from somebody else, because now that person may not be giving you the accurate information, or you may not be hearing the information correctly, and it allows an opportunity for you to change the story, change the narrative, and really not have all the actual facts. And so I think it's super, super important that we actually look at the world around us and assess what is happening. And with that is really going to be the foundation for, whoa, that is going to be the foundation for what we're going to talk about. A lot of people start off with the question of, Luke, where do you see the world in 5 years? And the answer is, I don't even know where the world's going to be tomorrow. And that's not for me to try to guess. If I am constantly worrying about tomorrow, today has its own set of problems. I really don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, and therefore I don't know where 5 years is going to bring. So by me worrying about that is really taking and consuming myself from where I can actually apply energy, which is today. The second point that usually comes up is, Luke, are you growing a garden to be prepared? Are you, putting food away? Are you preserving food so that in the event that you need to hunker down for a few months, you're going to be prepared? And the answer to that is not really. I grow a garden obviously for my enjoyment. I grow it for my nourishment. I have a lot of pride in growing high quality produce for my family. Now, that really stops when, again, I reach kind of a headspace where I'm doing things for a very negative reason. If I am putting food away for the what if scenario that the world ends, I don't really feel like that's a very positive headspace to be in, and it really prevents me from actually enjoying the garden. So, when I'm picking these peppers, we're going to turn some into some fermented salsa, some fermented hot sauce. That's what these ahi lemon drop peppers are going towards. And then we're going to pickle some bird's beak peppers. We're gonna make some pickled bird's beak, which I'm super excited about. And so it prevents me from enjoying. But when it comes to like, why I'm doing it, I'm doing it to, yes, provide food for my family. Yes, I'm doing it to save money. And yes, I'm also doing it to, to just enjoy the freshness of a garden. Am I doing it for the what if scenario, the doomsday mindset of, if I really come down to it, am I going to use a jar of pickled peppers to feed my family when there's apocalyptic scenarios going on? I'm not. I'm really not. Sometimes that mindset you can be so convinced that something is going to happen that it really clouds your view of what's going on. And people always say, well, this time is different. But every time they say this time is different, it doesn't really end up being very different. And so people have been saying this for centuries, decades. And, there was people in World War II holding up signs saying the end is near. There were probably people thinking the exact same thing that we're thinking today. And there was probably far scarier things going on in World War II than there are right now. And so it's really all about relative. I'm not here to say that you're wrong. Heck, I could be wrong, and I could also be right. But I'm simply saying, from a mental health standpoint, I prefer to take a positive and optimistic approach and realize that there have been things in the past that have happened that are wrong and bad and that are scary, and that does not have to define who I am and my every waking minute. So that's where I come from that perspective. Now, you probably want to know, what are some of my concerns? I do have concerns. I absolutely do. One of those concerns is rising food prices. So, as I said, I grow a garden to save money. And that's because food prices have gone up. And in fact, food prices have gone up more this year than they did last year. For instance, for us, a tomato went from $2 at our local grocery store to $2.75. I mean, we're talking, that's a huge jump. Eggs went from about $3 to about $4.50. Massive jump. I mean, we're talking huge jumps. Check out the peppers on that. Oh my gosh. Yes, I am breaking the stems off because we're supposed to be getting some pretty cold weather, and I think my peppers are just about done. But yeah, food prices are going up, and that's a concern of mine, obviously, when it comes to saving money. Another concern is shortages. So there are definitely very real shortages going on even today, and that really stems from just stuff that's trickled down. There has been a lot of fertilizer shortages because of disruptions over in Europe and China, and there's also lots of shortages with things like seeds. We run a seed company, and we've noticed a lot of these seed shortages because farmers are making those hard decisions of, do I grow soybeans because soybean prices are super high versus, a pepper seed that might not have fluctuated in price that much. Fertilizer costs. Am I growing something that takes a lot of fertilizer or something that doesn't take as much fertilizer? Those things are really serious considerations that farmers are making. And so seed shortages are something that is very real, and that is a genuine concern of mine. So, when I'm growing seed, I'm gonna save a few of these bird's beak peppers, and I'm gonna save the seeds from them. And you should too. I think that's something that is very worthwhile doing. Because do I think it's going to cause the end of the world? I don't think so. I don't personally think so. I have enough faith in humanity that we're going to get through this like we've gotten through other things as well. There might be bumps in the road, but when it comes to cost, when it comes to shortages, when it comes to just kind of padding the anxiety that can happen during these bumps, growing a garden and saving your own produce and saving your own seeds can absolutely that can be something that you can use your garden for as a resource. Now, as far as some other fears go, I do have a fear that we have become really disconnected with our neighbor. I fear that we've become really disconnected with each other and more focused on our differences than our likenesses. I think that has been ongoing for quite some time, and it's not getting any better. But I really have always tried to take the approach of, hey, let's set aside our differences and let's come together to unify and actually become stronger rather than weaker. You know, obviously when it comes to violence and war, things like that, that is a very real concern. And one last concern that I have, you know, that is a genuine concern, is I have a genuine concern that we are also as a society, that we are really sacrificing quality and promoting more of a consumerist quantity mindset. This is something that is very real, and it is something that does have an effect on, obviously, every day. When it comes to just overall consumption, the reason why we have shortages is because we, for a long time, have never lived without. We've never seen a day where we're like, okay, I'm gonna make a sacrifice to not buy this because, you know, not because I can't afford it, but because I really just don't need it. And because we've always been given that luxury, that just limitless luxury, I think that does have repercussions going forward as well. We're gonna have to, you know, get back to that kind of local mindset. And I believe that that's gonna be a positive thing. I do believe that's gonna be a very positive thing, because once we realize, you know, hey, I can support local small business, I can support my neighbor, that's going to reinvigorate that idea that your neighbor is not your enemy, but your friend. Your neighbor is your ally rather than your adversary. And I think that is something that I'm very optimistic about that's gonna come from this. Now, man, another rotten one. Well, I'll still get seeds from it. That's good. And so I think that's a very, very positive message and something to consider. A garden has really taught me to be very happy with the simple things in life. You know, I've really enjoyed home cooked meals because we make a lot of food from produce we get from the garden. I've really enjoyed going to places like the farmer's market, because anything I can't grow in our garden, things like sweet corn, I can go and support my local farmer. And the idea that, like, we have this little ecosystem going on, that really strengthens communities, and it also just really teaches you to be more appreciative of the simple things. Because when I put the same level of importance on like a home cooked meal as I do a new pair of shoes, it really simplifies down, and I realize what I really need to survive and what I should be grateful for than what ideally I would want and what I would go consume if I was given the free will and the choice to do so. And the final thing I was going to mention, because I got a lot more peppers to harvest. The final thing I was going to mention is that what I would really like to see from all of you is I would like to see you encouraging each other in comments, in discussion, and I would encourage you guys to just grow more food and grow a garden, because there are concerns that can be reduced and mitigated from a garden. There are also fears that are very real. You know, there's nothing wrong with preparing. There's nothing wrong with preparedness. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, don't let it consume your life. And if growing a bigger garden can help you to feel like you are, at least taking that step of being more prepared, and that's something you really believe in, then it's never going to hurt somebody. Growing a bigger garden cannot possibly hurt somebody, as long as you realize that when you have more than enough, when you have maxed out your capabilities of storing whatever you can possibly store, give away to friends and family, give to the soup kitchen, just put a stand out and say, free produce. Make someone's day with your garden. Don't just make your day. Don't just pad your pocket. Bless other people, because that will have a spillover effect. Because the final thing is that when you spill over into someone else's life, you create a connection, but you also create positivity. And positivity is what this world really needs, because we're right now in a time of a lot of negativity. And so with that being said, I hope you guys will leave some positive comments down in the comments box below. Go head over to Facebook and leave a couple positive comments on a gardening page you might be a member of, and be that cultural change and encourage somebody to grow a garden, encourage someone to keep gardening, or tell them their garden is doing great, and just be that positive change. And I think we can start there, and then from there, tomorrow will take care of itself. So as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home. And we'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye.